Okay, we've gotten to our area and I've selected a spot that I like. It's in these cedars right here. It's just a little blank spot right here that I can throw my bivy down, set my poncho up, throw the net on top of. Got my backpack, 3-day, and this is my spot. And like I said, we're using the USMC improved combat shelter, so I'm using the bivy, using a poncho liner. I got a camo net that I'm using, and I'll also throughout this whole thing I'll be throwing some leaves on the camo net just to kind of give it some extra camouflage as I'm sitting in here. So let's jump right into it and I'll show you how I'm going to set this thing up. Backpack, go ahead in. Alright, cool deal. Got the under some cedars here, and set my backpack right up here. Stuff and all around me. Give you a quick look. Just surrounded in some cedars. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get set up here, and then actually I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna get set up. It's kind of part of the video here. So hang my hat up over right here, ought to work. Now let's see what I got in my backpack and see what we can do with the area we are given. Of course, we've got the poncho here. This is going to help with keeping extra bits of rain, limbs, things like that from hitting the bivy. Got the camo net right here. I believe this was a $10 one, so not that expensive, and it seems pretty heavy duty. We'll show you that more here in a minute. Got the poncho liner right here. And last but not least, we have the bivy. Bivy is very nice. But between this, we should have a solid shelter. And that's all that's inside the bag. Just my shelter, really. Got some food down here, a little extra snacks, and kind of a 3-day loadout like I did in my little video there. We're gonna get this set up. I've also got some paracord. I'm gonna grab that real quick. In this little pouch right here. Paracord is key in this setup. There you go. So that's what I'm gonna be using to set the shelter up with. Again, got the bivy, paracord, poncho liner, poncho, and the camo net. And then of course, for a little extra during the night, because it does kind of drop down a little cold, got the jacket down here. Right now I don't need a jacket, it's nice and warm, but it will get cooler as the night comes on. So there you go. Here's my setup. I've selected this cedar to get under, and it gives me an excellent view of the trail. And if you can see Gabriel right through, let's see, Gabriel is right through there. You see him right about here, I think. Now right here keeps us off the trail. We're about 50 feet off the trail. And you see the river down this way. So I'm gonna get in there and start getting set up. Basically, just today,
For the stealth camping, we're using the USMC improved bivy, poncho liner, and a camo net that we picked up for Christmas. This is a climate insulated sleeping pad. And this is the camo netting. I bought this from Amazon. Got it for Christmas. And we're gonna see just how good this works. Now, this is the 5x6, if I'm not mistaken. It is small. It's flimsy material. It's better quality than I expected, but near what I expected. So we're gonna try this out. And here's the USMC USMC improved bivy cover. This thing, this alone by itself, it's worth its weight in gold. Now the cover that I'm using to put over my shelter is this tarp. It's made by Fire Force USA, and it is coyote brown. It's a 5x7 Oxford nylon. Picked this up, my wife actually picked this up for me for Christmas from Amazon. Glad she did. Impressed with the quality of it. Love the color, coyote brown. Amen to that. Once she made the purchase on Amazon, they were out of stock of the coyote brown tarp. So I think she got one of the last ones, if not the very last one. Made in USA. Heavy duty grommets. These grommets are like what you would see on the military ponchos. And I did a little research on Fire Force USA, and they actually are a military contractor. So some of their, now whether this is mil spec or not, I don't know, but they are a military supplier. So I'm going to put this over the bivy.
Let's go ahead and get the shelter set up, and we'll show you how I am going to camouflage my shelter. So the first order of business is to get the poncho up. I think what I'm going to do is start the ridge line down at this end. So, got the paracord here. Gonna unroll this. This is about a 25-foot hank paracord. So it's definitely enough to reach where I need it to reach. Idea here, you want this extremely low profile, so tying it to this little bush right here should work if this is sturdy enough. Let's see here. Seems pretty sturdy, and that's just gonna go right around here somewhere. Might even tie both of these together and keep it extremely low, maybe somewhere, yeah, right around there. So we're just gonna tie this in around. Sit down here for a second. Over here, I'm going to tie it to that bush right there.
Here's the sleeping pad inside of the bivy. We'll lay this out. Okay, now the sleep system itself is set up inside. I have the sleeping mat by Climate insulated, and the poncho liner will be a blanket. For this, I'm just going to use a simple bowline knot. And I made these, or pre-cut these, so they're all equal lengths, and they'll stay with this tarp. So we can do this on all 4 sides. This is my gear tree. Gear tree just holds all your gear. Until you're ready for it. Okay, here we are, all set up. Got the bivy down below, tarp above, and camo net. I want a bigger net. I probably should have selected the bigger net to begin with, but like I said before, I wasn't sure the quality of this. I want to get a small piece, cheap piece first, find out if I'd even like it or not, but I think it's going to do what I want it to do. It's lightweight enough, and I think it's thin material, so it's not going to handle a whole lot of force on snags or anything like that, but for what we're doing, I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to get a bigger piece and get up under here now to give you an idea what this looks like down. And over here at the head is where obviously we'll get in. It doesn't quite cover the entire tarp, but that's okay because where my head is located, it's going to be nearest the trunk of the tree. And where I want more net is actually going to be down here by the foot. So, and that way if someone was coming up the hill, it, you know, may camouflage me a little better. Right now, give you an idea what it looks like coming up the hill. You know, you can see that pretty good. What really gives you away in this game are straight lines. You don't see natural straight lines like that. And as you can see, that's what the foot looks like. So that's an obvious giveaway there. In just a little while, I'll show what this looks like without the tarp and just the net strung up. But as of right now, it shouldn't looking too bad.
So my idea here, let me go ahead and get this unrolled. Just have the feet down at this end, have my head up here, laying like this. There's a little bit of a slope right here, higher on this side, and it kind of gets lower as you go down. But that's my goal here, is to be laying like this. One thing I thought I'd also mention, see sticks like this, sticks like these, right up here in my face. They're in the way, definitely, and like those right there. They're in the way, but you don't want to break those off, or if you can help it, because this is natural camouflage. Now, as you can see, we got the ridge line run here, and what we're gonna do, we're not gonna put the poncho up yet. Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get the poncho liner in the bivy before we do that. And this is also, go ahead and take this chance to go ahead and, if your bivy has wire in it to keep the net off your face, go ahead and straighten the wire out so you don't have to do that later as well. And as I'm going through this little process and you're just kind of watching, I'll just give you some tips, some pointers, and just kind of talk for a second. Stealth camping, you have a couple of different types of stealth camping. You could be like, let's say somebody's after you and you're on the run, and basically kind of a hiding type deal. That can be stealth camping. You're going cross country, you don't want to be in a hotel and pay the money, so maybe you're sleeping along in the bushes as you go, or something like that. That could be stealth camping. But even just recreational, you know, you just go out, just hide, kind of get away here in the bushes, here in under the trees, just kind of hide as you camp, just kind of get away from people. That could be stealth camping as well. So you have a couple of different types of stealth camping, but they all kind of follow a couple of main rules here. The whole purpose of stealth camping is not to be seen, or to draw the least amount of attention to you as possible. So you want to do something low to the ground like this. Bivvies are perfect. Small little poncho shelters are perfect. A camo net helps out a lot, as you'll see here in a moment. Now, what I'm going to do, unroll this. I'm going to tie the corners with these little strings that come on there. You want to leave this side open, where you tie it when you get in, or you just fold it over itself when you get in. So basically you want to leave here's the poncho, or here's the bivy, the top of it. You'd sit in right here, fold it over you, and tie it. We're going to do a review on this net because I think this is a really cheap option for somebody that wants a good net just to throw over like we're doing today, just over a poncho shelter or over a tarp, but doesn't really know what net to buy. You don't really want to buy a super heavy, military net, because of course stealth camping normally goes right along with lightweight, ultralight camping, something like that. So you don't want a heavy military, PVC, IR proof, coating on your net, because that can get up there and weight easy. I've got corners held down by rocks on all sides, except for that back one back there. Got me a stake in the ground. This is about how your shelter is going to look here. It's at my knee, so very low to the ground, very nice. Got the net right here. Oh yeah, and we're eventually going to replace these with paracord, but these are new, so we'll just use them like they came. Get this thing unrolled. Now, this is the inside. This is what you want on touching the poncho, and this is the side you want facing up towards the trees. Dad already told me he wants a bigger net because his feet are exposed. Like that. And you do kind of want to baby this net. You don't really want to throw it all around and get it all snagged up on branches and things. You kind of want to just keep it nice and easy with it. What we have going on here, this side you can't see as well from the trail. The other side you can see very clear from the trail. So you want this side a little more open. You wouldn't think that though, because this is actually more out in the open. But this side you can actually see better from the trail. So I'm going to crawl in here, I'm going to kind of pull that net down a little bit, and then we're going to start throwing some natural leaves and things like that on there. So got some more stuff here, some pine straw, some reindeer moss. We're going to kind of sprinkle that on here. The back side is actually fairly well covered. As far as this side is going, it's actually camouflaged fairly nice. Just got some good stuff on there. And it really blends in. Let's go over here to the trail and just see what's going on here. You really can't even tell it's a shelter there. I'll even give you some zoom. Blends right in. I love that. That is amazing. See, that side has a lot of good camo. I'm gonna pick that up, but well, that's what it's all about. Selecting camo, selecting what is gonna work good in your environment. Dad and I both have this woodland camo for our net, and I feel it works great for this setting here. They also have a more brown. Well, actually, they do have a brown. They have a completely brown, and then I think they have like a two-tone brown, kind of a desert-like color. Very nice. I like it a lot.
I think what we'll do is probably dress it up with some leaves. Maybe go back, I'll go down the bottom here. Go down that bottom. Pick up some leaves maybe, spread it on top of the camo net, just kind of break up some of the shine. I do notice a little shine. Some of that may wear off. And we may actually just customize it a little bit with a little olive drab flat spray paint. Just light strokes. Just kind of knock off some of that sheen. But so far, that $10 Valide or Viliad, however they want to pronounce it, for $10, I really cannot complain. I'm happy with it. Now we're just going to kind of casually walk the trail and just see if any of these stand out. And again, we want to be off of the trail minimum 30 feet. Minimum 30 feet. That gets you out of the scope of the casual glance and hopefully keep you hidden from anyone that you don't want to see you. So now we know, I know where both of them are. Just kind of turn this around a little bit. We're going to go back this way. Kind of come around through here a little bit. Just to kind of mix it up a little. All right, now. Because even though I know where they are, I still like to not be able to have them catch my eye as I'm walking through. Okay, now this way through. I don't see anything. One of my favorite things to do as a kid. On days like today where it's 45 degrees outside or so, it's sunny, a little windy, get in places like this, under these pine boughs, cedar boughs, real close to the ground, block all the wind, and just lay in this wonderful sunshine, all against this pine straw. It's just a lot of heat here. Just wonderful. Now, back to the camps. Okay, I don't see anything yet.
Whole lot harder to see. Now that we've added a little bit of natural foliage on there. You can tell it's there, but it's a whole lot harder to see now. I like it. If I really wanted camouflage, I'd have to build some kind of more foliage up around here to, I don't know, kind of just to block off the entrance a little bit. But really, well, I guess I could just lay some sticks and then pile some leaves on. Here it is on this side. Got the net going over it over here. Like I said, can stretch that down a little bit, but you can't really see this from the trail, so that's good. Really, that side is more exposed during the trail. I want more net so I can cover this whole thing. Here's the inside. So here's my camp system in the inside. What I would do is I'd have my bag brought in around here. And yeah. And you know, look, you should kind of see how it's kind of sagging in a little bit. That's okay for this. You don't necessarily want it tight, straight out, A-frame. Well, it is A-frame, but you don't necessarily want the straight lines. Because like I said, you never see a straight line in nature. Especially a straight, solid color. You always see kind of more natural curved things, like even trees, and it all has some curvature. Oh, a hiker. It's a dad. What's he doing? Okay, anyways, you don't know if that's making it into the video. You always see curved things in nature. Curved limbs, curved leaves. Natural foliage has always got some curvature to it. You never see a straight line. So, not necessarily having it completely tight is not a problem. Now, the only thing I can see that I would need a ground sheath, like a ground cloth, ground sheet, something just to keep my bivy protected from the ground. There's my feet down there. Bivy popping up. And of course, if I was in the bivy, I'd be up somewhere around here. And there you go. And I'd be laying down and there he is again. I like this. I like this a lot. You can see the shadows, the net cast. I'd have my pack right here. Radio going, maybe on the Weather Channel. Now, one thing I do notice, which it's going to make, obviously, this poncho definitely stops wind. So in the morning time, you're getting up, it's cold, you're putting your morning clothes on, you're getting your boots on. You get this little extra layer of heat being held in, especially if the sun is shining real bright. You can definitely feel the heat in here. And just kind of keep that wind off you. Like I said, especially that definitely feels great in the morning. Now with this, I could also get the rocks off on one side, like over here, and stake it out like a porch, or tie it out rather like a porch. Or I could just take this side and flap it over and just have an open side over here. But it's very quick to set up, very quick to take down, and I love it. It's a lot of fun camping in this, and it's just a great option,
I have removed the tarp from mine, and it is still beneath the cedar tree there. Get that back in frame. But now that I have removed that tarp, light passes through as if it were going across tree branches and things like that. So there's nothing to really stop the light and create additional shadows. So we'll back up a second. We'll look through here. And I believe Gabriel's setup is still very well hidden. But at certain angles, like he mentioned, you do see glare or reflection from the poncho. You'll see shadow. But then from other angles, it's extremely hard to see, especially if you're not looking for something. Go back this way. And we'll come around to my setup. And honestly, that's hard to see even if you are looking at it. It's right under there. There's my camp setup there. That is the sun may be affecting the camera a little bit, so we'll get around here in a second. But right now, that's just the camo net and the improved bivy cover. We'll come around here and see how this looks. Now that I've removed that tarp, light passes through, creates shadows, and the only thing that I'm using for actual weather cover is the improved bivy. So, taking some additional camouflage, some natural foliage, putting it on top of this, especially along the ridge line to help break it up a little bit more. This is it's a pretty good system. All in all, I'm happy with that tarp. I'm tickled with the camo net. It's not mil spec. Definitely not mil spec. Mil spec is heavy. This is cheap and this is light. And I think it's going to suit my purposes. Again, I'm going to get a bigger one so I can close up the foot here and hide the gear. But so far, I'm liking it. Right now, I'm about 15 feet away from it. Of course, the sun's glaring in my eye, but that's hard to see. Fantastic.
So, here's my shelter. You've already seen Dad's, so you should decide which one's better in the comment section below. Team Gabriel. But overall, we're gonna have a review on this net, like I keep saying. But overall, great shelter, great option, and it's lightweight. So, if you're trying to decide on what to get, a poncho, a nice camo net, a bivy, a sleeping bag, or a poncho liner, whichever one you choose there, or if you'd like to go both, and some paracord, maybe some tent stakes, and you got your good solid stealth camping shelter. So now you're over here at my camp. Let's just take a quick look around and see. Now, if I was actually ready to go to sleep and I was inside of the shelter here, this whole little setup right here on the ground, my bag, my hat, jacket, that would all be on the inside of the shelter. But since we've sat here, we got set up, this is right here on the outside for now. But I'm gonna get this out of the way so you can see the shelter a little bit better. And what I'm doing is, since the soil around here, the ground is so rocky, I've just picked some of these rocks, pile them up on the corners, a couple in the middle, all around, just some good sized rocks, and that keeps it down. And a little bit of this camo kind of fell as I got in the first time, but you just have to pile it on pretty thick. Just keep throwing stuff onto your shelter here just to cover it up. And basically what this poncho does is it stops light from passing through, and it causes a little bit of a glare at different angles. So go away from that. If you're not expecting rain, heavy rains, or like you have a good solid setup above you. Most of the time you'd put a poncho or a tarp down to stop limbs from hitting you in the night. Small limbs, of course. Obviously this couldn't take a whole man-sized log hitting it, but
no widowmakers.
definitely not. But small limbs will keep off your bivy, and it'll stop heavy rains from coming through. But if you're not expecting any of that kind of stuff, just set the net up and don't have anything up under it like a poncho or a tarp. Don't use that, just use the net and let the light pass through, let shadows be cast, and it'll look more natural and it'll keep you more concealed. So you can always use the poncho as like a ground cloth or something like that, or use the tarp as a ground cloth, you know, to keep your bivy from being directly on the ground with rocks and all kinds of sharp, jagged, just sticks, all kinds of mess down there. Protect your bivy. So here's my setup right here. Just got the poncho and an A-frame style shelter with the net on top. Got my bivy on the inside, and of course I'd have my backpack, my hat, my jacket, all that stuff on the inside with me as well. Got the poncho liner on the inside of the bivy, and Dad and I both use the same bivvies. Got a little footage of me crawling in as well, so we're going to throw that in. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed my shelter. I really enjoyed setting it up, and I think it's camouflaged fairly well, as you saw from the trail footage.
Another cool piece of gear we got this year for Christmas is this gimbal. Our past videos, if anybody that's seen any of our videos, I like to record Gabriel walking into the area and walking out of. And you'll see in those videos it's very choppy, it's very bouncy. So, got the gimbal for Christmas. Hopefully it's going to take a lot of that bounce and a lot of that chop out when we're walking. So, the vast majority of this video has been recorded with this. So if you guys can tell a difference, leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think of our setups. So hopefully this is going to work out. It's going to be a big piece of our gear. So. Now here's a real test of this gimbal. Going down this rocky ledge, and this is about as bumpy and as uneven as I'm going to get. Stepping on all these rocks. Still trying to keep Gabriel in frame. And I'm sure there's still going to be some noticeable bump in this. Really shouldn't be anything like what it used to be. This is a lot like my farm in the fact that I'll never ever have enough footage of it. I love it.
Alrighty guys, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Please comment down in the section below. We love to read your guys' comments, the information, the knowledge that's down there. We love to hear it. We love to give out what we can down there as well. We answer all the comments that come through, so please hit us up down there. Please click that subscribe button. Likes always help as well. Go follow us, Robert's Bushcraft, on Instagram and Twitter as well. Go to our website, read some of our stories there. Hopefully you enjoyed the video today about the stealth camping shelters. Hopefully it gave you some ideas, some knowledge there, maybe some inspiration on what you'd like to set your shelter up as. But as always guys, may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. God bless.